where the food is real great and the music's first rate, where I'm glad that I ate Maestro Bistro. Where you hear old-time tunes and all kinds of croons, where they play and sip spoons, Maestro Bistro. Where your time is well spent, it will leave you content. We will never relent, Maestro Bistro. Public supper's the style, it will bring out a smile. Come and stay for a while, Maestro Bistro. Relax and eat slow, where you quietly dine and enjoy the show. Tap your foot while you chew, it's digestively good for you too. Where you hear all the notes and songs about folks, food and music evokes Maestro Bistro. Where the rhythm will vamp, whether dry, wet, or damp, it's at main fiddle camp, Maestro Bistro.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another Maestro Bistro. This is our 12th bistro, so I guess we've been doing it for a year now. Pretty exciting. My beard is a lot longer than it was when we started, I think. My name is Neil Perlman. I am your host for the evening, along with our illustrious main fiddle camp director, Mr. Doug Protzek, who we'll have up in just a second. It's very exciting. This month we've been collaborating with a crossover with the Downeast Folk Festival, and you'll hear more about that quite soon. But in the meantime, I think we're gonna get the aforementioned Doug Protzek up here right away for another one of our perennial synchronizer events. Let's see if he's here. Doug, are you there?
Oh, thank you, Neil, for that great introduction.
Wait a second.
And welcome, everybody, to Maestro Bistro in conjunction with the Downeast Country Dance Festival this year, coming to you virtually. We love collaborating with
Sorry about that.
all the musicians and the dancers and in the dance community. So anyway, but I'm just dying to play a tune here, Neil. So what do you say? Would you like to try some synchronized internet playing here?
Yeah, let's do it. It's always fun.
All right, so we'll play the old Cock of the North, an old Irish jig here. First in the key of G, and then in the key of A. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Sounded great, and but I guess we're going to have a guest here
Yes.
from the Downeast Country Dance Festival. So, everyone, please make welcome here Glenn Lope.
I think I'm here. Hey, everybody. I brought along my friend Bethany Wakeman, who lives here a lot of the time. And we're going to kick things off by playing a tune. I hope you join us. It's a good one in the key of D called the Huntsman's Chorus.
Oh, Petronella?
Or Petronella. Oh, that's what I meant.
We were playing. Right.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, Glenn and Bethany.
Good to see you.
Very nice. Nice little. Must be nice to have accompaniment right there live instead of Neil and I having to do it in a rather surreptitious way. But hey, how's
The
festival?
synchronizers are expensive. It's true. Yeah.
Oh, they're difficult to come by, these super synchronizers, but works pretty well. But you guys sounded pretty super synchronized yourself there. So how's the
Synchronizer is going to go get a bite.
Okay, great. Thank you, Bethany. Hey,
Easy
Glenn,
come, easy go.
how's the festival going so far?
It's going great. Yeah. So if you're just tuning in, we had a great afternoon of workshops. What we did is we joined forces. So the Downeast Country Dance Festival usually has something in March, and Main Fiddle Camp is usually this weekend. So what we did was we put on some workshops starting at 12:30, and it just sort of rolled into Main Fiddle Camp's workshops, and it's been great. We had over 200 people sign up, and we had well over 100 people in all the workshops all afternoon.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, a little synergy here by combining our sources. But, you know, I always think of the festival as sort of kind of helping to kick off the Main Fiddle Camp real season in the summer because I always bring a display and a bunch of brochures and we like to spread the word always at the Downeast Country Dance Festival for Main Fiddle Camp. Do you remember what year that was started, by the way, offhand?
Oh, I should. It's around early 90s, I believe.
Curious about
Don't
that.
have the data.
Lynn Plum deserves a big shout out for doing a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of people over the years who have taken the reins. Jeff Raymond was involved for a lot of years. You know, the organization has a long history. So today in the lobby at the festival, Joan Sheldon said hi, and she was the editor of the DEFFA newsletter 30 years ago.
Yes.
And she had a great time and just had a great time connecting with old friends from way back when.
Oh, Joan, how wonderful. That's great to hear. Oh, I hope to connect up with her. I haven't seen her in quite a while. I wonder if she's one of my big silent movie fans. I wonder if she saw the movie last night. But anyway, hey, so one of the big parts of the Downeast Country Dance Festival is the festival orchestra. So we've got a fantastic virtual ensemble festival orchestra to premiere right now here at Maestro Bistro in conjunction with the Downeast Country Dance Festival. So are we ready to see this virtual ensemble that you, by the way, you and Bethany, Glenn, created the template for this and got the ball rolling on it. And then, of course, Noah Fishman, our wonderful video editor, did a great job. So why don't we just show that virtual ensemble, and we're going to be showing other virtual ensembles this Maestro Bistro's show as well. We're really going to feature that. So but let's start off with the festival, Downeast Country Dance Festival Orchestra.
Yeah,
Virtual
I'm ready.
ensemble. Premiering.
Face across. Chain.
New neighbor, bounce and swing.
One's in the middle, balance and swing.
Down the hall.
Come back.
Face across. Rockets, pull by and swing your partner one last time. Swing!
That was so fun, so amazing to see. And if you're just sort of joining us, you caught the end of it. We'll play it again for you at the very end of the show here. And just before we get into the rest of the bistro, I do want to mention, as part of our collaboration with the Downeast Country Dance Festival, they've also got an online contra dance going on just a few minutes after this wraps up over on their festival Zoom, which you can register for. It's happening right at 8 p.m. You can register for the dance at their website. So definitely head over there if you haven't been part of the festival today, and you'll get to hear a lot more music like that and dance along at home. So, but we're gonna get right into the guests for the bistro tonight. I'm really excited to bring up our first featured guest. He jumped in. Jumped in, one of the first people to jump in and help us out with one of the early bistros, and I'm excited to have him come back now that we really got the kinks worked out, and join us again a year into the bistro. So please make welcome Mr. Ben Foss. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Neil. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
I'm glad to be here.
Where are you joining us from?
I'm in Brooks, Maine right now, and it was an awfully sunny day today, and it's still light enough out that I can play the Maestro Bistro and still have time to go collect all my sap to bring in. I've been making maple syrup these days.
Oh, nice.
So
That
yeah, nice to have the
that's
extra daylight in the evening.
definitely. That's a nice looking guitar you have there. Have you been? I know you work on instruments a lot these days. Have you been working on that one?
This is actually the first guitar I built, I think 8 years ago now, and I
Really?
had it detuned in its case for a very long time and didn't really think much about it, and recently set it up again and have been really enjoying it as a sort of living room guitar. It's pretty mellow, and my work has changed a lot since then, but it's been a lot of fun. So
Oh, cool.
that's what I've been playing in the last couple of weeks.
Well, great. I can't wait to hear it. So I think I'm just going to get off the screen here and hand it over to you. Everyone, put your hands together for Ben Foss.
Thanks, Neil. So I'm going to start out with a couple of tunes. I've been playing a lot of guitar these days, much more guitar than anything else. Some old-time C tunes. I'm going to play them in B just because I like how they fit. The first one is The Long White Road, which is my favorite John Hartford tune, and then I'll go into Katydid, which is a great old-time tune in the key of C. The Long White Road and Katydid. I'm going to switch over to fiddle now for a couple of tunes. People, you wouldn't let me get away without playing the fiddle, at least a little bit. And you can see the link up on the screen is to my Bandcamp page. I recorded an album right at the beginning of the pandemic, almost exactly a year ago. Mostly New England tunes, contra dance tunes, some of my favorite fiddle tunes in that moment. and I'll play some that are in that vein. Here is a couple of New England tunes that aren't super common. The first one is called The Witch of the Wave. The second one will be Forrester's Hornpipe, which I guess is a pretty common tune. And then The Brazen Mask, which is a tune that's Scottish in origin, but I guess played in New England a while ago. I learned The Witch of the Wave and The Brazen Mask from Ryan's Mammoth Collection, which is a great book of fiddle tunes compiled in the late 1800s. Of fiddle tunes. Feels kind of silly to play tunes like that alone. I would love to have a great accompanist like Neil pounding along on the piano, but someday soon. I'm going to play one more tune. Switch over once again. To the electric guitar. of my favorite Swedish polskas. I don't remember exactly what this one is called. I learned it from Lydia Ivins. And if someone remembers, please let me know. Thank you all, and I hope to play tunes with you in person sometime again soon.
Thanks so much, Ben. That was just beautiful. And it's funny that you mentioned having an accompanist for that tune. That tune itself. I just couldn't help but play a few chords when you got into that one because it was so high energy. So feeling the same way. Looking forward to doing that when we can.
Well, thank you so much, Neil. Thanks for having me, and I look forward to seeing the rest of the show.
Yeah, take care. That was great, Ben Foss, and I'm going to bring Doug back, but just quickly before I do, I want to mention to you, if you came here through the Folk Festival, or if this is one of your first time seeing the show, Fiddle Camp we've been doing sort of virtual events supporting the large staff of musicians that are involved with the camp, and also trying to bring together the community virtually during this year of pandemic. And if you are inclined to support, it's all supported by donation. So if you're inclined to support Maine Fiddle Camp's efforts in doing that, you can donate right here at Maine Fiddle Camp's PayPal. Anyway, Doug, how's it going?
No, it's going great. You know, not everybody can donate money through PayPal. So if you can't, you can send it to the Maine Fiddle Camp address on regular. Send a check in a regular snail mail to the address on the website. And that's all very helpful. The donations have been wonderful, and it's really kept everyone's spirits up. So many thanks to all the people that have donated already. It's really making it very possible for us to do this. But hey, Neil, we've got another special guest here.
That's right.
And we've got it for the food part of Maestro Bistro.
Yes, I'm excited about this. Let's bring him on.
Okay, so one of our foundational staff members of Maine Fiddle Camp teaching the harmonica is Stephen Weiss. So let's bring on Stephen.
Hey, Stephen.
Hey, buddy.
Hello.
Oh, boy. I remember all those times we played at Bodenham. You coming to the dance and playing harmonica for the dances. Oh, we had some fun back then.
Oh, we're still having fun.
We are still having fun. Great to see you. And
glad to be seen.
You're the mighty leader of the mighty puffins at Maine Fiddle Camp. You know, every workshop's named after a bird, and the harmonicas, of course, are called the puffins.
Proud to be the nest leader of the mighty puffins, for sure.
And you're going to be featured at Maestro Bistro next month as well, doing a workshop with the harmonica and performing as well. So we look forward to that. But you're here to present your food things. So what you got for us about food, Stephen?
Well, nothing builds up my appetite like playing the harmonica. And when I have that appetite, I'm hankering for a food that not only is of cultural, anthropological, historical significance, but if we look at the context of the indigenous culture from which it came, is also ceremonially significant and has a spiritual significance to it as well. And if that weren't enough, is really fun to make, really satisfying to eat, and really delicious. So, and one of the few, and I'm here to talk about corn, not your favorite food, Doug, the cornmeal, or not the kind of corn that Owen and Glenn serve up for the variety show, but corn, well, if we use the local North American, Central American, Latino word for it, Spanish word for it, it's blue corn tortillas. And I'm here to talk about making homemade, organic blue corn tortillas. Or we could think of it in a more global culture perspective. I'm looking at making something called bannock. Bannock is an ancient bread. Bannock is a Celtic, Gaelic-derived word, and bannock as a kind of batter bread, which is unleavened and cooked as a staple, is all over the planet. The Scots are famous for it. Traditionally made, it's made on a polished sandstone piece that's got 4 legs and set in a fire. Not different in North America. Bannock was made in addition to corn from lots of roots and lots of different nut flours and stuff like that. But I'm here to talk about blue corn tortillas. Now, I've been making blue corn tortillas for a long time, and my world transformed last December on my birthday when my wife gave me a tortilla press. And it is right here. And I'll turn it around. And
Beautiful.
now in the instructions from there,
right there is the tortilla press.
Yeah, and I used to use, my trusty rolling pin, and they're always delicious, but this has rocked my world. It's a solid cast iron piece. And actually in the instructions say, take great care. It will inflict great harm if you drop it on your foot. And so the recipe, let's just get right to it. I could geek out on all the other things I talked about. If you'll flash the recipe up there, Neil. And it's basically 2 cups of organic blue corn masa harina. I'm going to talk for a second. Well, I can talk about now. Masa harina. Now, this is cornmeal. This is blue cornmeal from an amazing supplier in South Carolina called Anson Mills. Amazingly made. This almost indistinguishable thing is called masa harina. And this kind of reflects back to ancient wisdom. For some reason, now corn has been grown on Turtle Island from Mesoamerica somewhere for almost 10,000 years. And somewhere about 5,000 to 6,000 years ago, somebody in the village, whether it's a shamanic or spirit root, I asked my family, I'm adopted to the Zuni people, like many of you know. So I've got these connections with one of the Pueblo tribes. But I asked them, like, where did you learn? Well, the root of it is somebody discovered that if you soak corn in ashes or in limestone shards that have been heated, so it alkalinizes the water, magic happens to the corn. It dissolves the hard cellulose sheath called the pericarp, makes it easier to grind, but nutritionally, it releases all the bound up vitamin B3 that's locked in the cellulose and actually like 30 to 40 times enhances the nutritional value of the corn. And the other thing that it does is it allows you to make dough. The nutritional word, the word that the nutrition scientists or the anthropologists throw out, is a funny word called that is nixtamalization. There it is. And Zuni, which is the Pueblo people I've spent half my life, is an Aztec derived. So it's not a nixt, but it's out the side of your mouth. And it's sort of fun to say those indigenous words. Nixt, nichta. So nichti means ash. And tamal means dough. So somewhere, somebody realized that when you take ashes and soak corn, it changes the corn to where you can actually make a dough from it that will stick together. Whereas this cornmeal, as beautiful as it is, won't make a dough.
Right.
It remains cornmeal.
Yeah.
So we take 2 cups of this. We put it in a bowl. I kind of prepared stuff in advance. And then what I do is, because, I mean, you could just use the masa harina, but I like it to have a little bit of a bite. So I have this amazing roasted and smoked chili peppers from Zuni that my family sends me. And I put a couple of big pinches of that in the dough. I mean, not in the dough, but in just the masa. I've got some green chili powder from New Mexico, from an amazing source. I put some cumin and some salt. And our favorite ingredient in experimenting is this powder that has this amazing color.
Very beautiful.
Made from, I don't know where you can see that or not, made from powdered rose petals.
Wow.
So it's rose powder, and it imparts this really amazing rose smell, but a kind of interesting sort of a little bit of a bite to the flavor. Anyway, and I mix that next ingredient, because it's really 2 ingredients if you take away all the condiments, is boiling water. So I take 1.25 cups of boiling water. I mix it together with my 2 cups of masa harina, and I let it stand for a while. And then after a while, I can form it into balls.
Wow.
And the ball, and you can decide how thick or thin you want it based upon how soft or hard your ball is. And you can make a smaller tortilla or corn bannock by making the ball smaller or larger. And I've experimented with lots of different things, and all of the people who deal with these tortilla presses say in the end you split a plastic bag and recycle it, which I have. The closest thing I found that I can use a little bit is that baking parchment. And you just take this in the middle, put that right there, cover it over, push it down, and just kind of take your body weight and lean into it. It's a tortilla press. I know.
If you
Why do
don't
they
have a
call it-
tortilla press, if you
Yeah,
don't
why
have
do
a
they call it a
can you
tortilla
use-
press, right? And then here's what you got. Flat as a pancake. And you peel this off on one side. And you can see the beautiful blue color of it, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Gorgeous.
Nice.
And while this is cooking, I'll talk about blue corn, the spiritual significance of the color blue in the Mesoamerican culture and the Zuni culture. And then traditionally they made it on a stone that's been heated, the stone, a sandstone piece that is 4 feet that's sitting in the fire. Traditional guys say you should always use cast iron, which is here. I found that I really like this nonstick pan called the green pan. It's modern, so it's a ceramic nonstick. It's not the Teflon nonstick that'll poison birds and stuff. So it doesn't emit toxins. And I throw that in there. And it's about 15 seconds or so, 20 seconds on the first side. And while that's going, in the Zuni tradition, each of the colors is of significance because it relates to direction. And the direction relates to a different part of God, a different aspect of Creator. And the West has to do with, how would I put it? The journey into the mystery. Blue is spring. It has to do with the sun sets in the West. And that's where the mystery goes. And that's where we send our consciousness to bring it back. The Zunis traditionally look at the corn, at the spirit of the corn. And they don't do a medicine wheel. They do a medicine sphere. So the blue is west, yellow, white is east, north is yellow, south is red, down into the earth is black, and up into the heavens is multicolored. And they have names for all these. And now I'm going to take my spatula and I'm going to turn it once. And it just has a light, what you can't smell. Virtual presentations are great, but what you don't get are smells and tastes, right? Is the smell of the cooking tortilla. It's amazing. Fills the house with a toasted corn smell.
You're describing it so well, I can practically smell it. So,
well, I have one that I made a few minutes ago, and I store them in a plate where I wrap them with a cloth, so it holds the moisture and holds the warmth. Here's kind of the finished product. And see if you can smell that.
Beautiful.
Oh boy.
So that's been around a minute. I'm going to flip it again. So it's about 20 seconds for the first, about a minute and a 15-minute, 20 for the second. Then you flip it back to the first. And often it will rise like a puri or a pita bread, where it'll form like a pocket inside and rise. So the blue corn is to celebrate the spring, to celebrate like so many of the traditional holidays, the divine feminine that emerges in the spring, whether it's the fertility of the plants or the animals. And blue corn, there's another version of like this, a different bannock with a super thin batter that the Hopi and the Zuni make on very polished stones that comes out paper thin, and they roll it up like a little scroll that is used in ceremony, and sometimes the bride cooks it, and she and the husband eat this bread called piki bread, P-I-K-I. It's a delicacy, amazing to have. Anyway, this is about done.
Well, that's cool. This is the kind of thing that we like to do at Maine Fiddle Camp is make food from scratch like that. Who'd ever think that you could make tortillas like this? This is and
So-
when no oil either. You didn't put any oil in your pan?
No, I took a tiny little bit of ghee just to rub the pan, then I rubbed it off. So it's kind of like the way you'd season a pan. So there's no oil. So essentially, if you didn't use ghee and you use coconut oil, this is vegan. It is gluten-free. And, it's the building block. I mean, what would you do with this? One of my favorite things these days, we found at a shop. I'm going to give you the link to it. Is a jam made from roasted chili peppers, green chili peppers. And I don't know whether that's going to show up, but it shows up as green chili jam by a company called Los Poblanos. Or there's hot sauce. One of our favorite hot sauces these days is this stuff, mother-in-law. The other thing in Southwestern cuisine is a stacked stacked enchilada, where you take this, dip it in some salsa, put it in a casserole dish, and you basically make a lasagna type thing with layers of beans and rice and or cheese and or meat, and you roast it for, I don't know, pretty hot oven for half an hour or something, depending on the recipe. And that's amazing to have like an enchilada pie.
You could experiment with the different pastas made from corn like this. So that's, revolutionary. Well, cool. Hey, Stephen, look, we've run out of time, Stephen, but wow, fantastic part of the bistro part of Maestro Bistro. Thank you for helping out. We look forward to your music and your workshops and in the next Maestro Bistro coming up in April. 1 week earlier than normal because we don't want to conflict with Fiddle Hell in April. So I think April 12th or something. But anyway, we'll see you then.
Bon appetit.
Thanks again, Stephen. Look at that. Oh, it's making me hungry. I love the corn tortillas with beans, because I love eating beans. And if you have a corn like that, how can you go wrong? So
well, I'm sure if you don't have a tortilla press, you can just roll it out with a rolling pin or something else. Of course.
But the trick is the macarena. That's the trick.
That's the key, yeah. Well, Doug, I'll come back to you in a minute, but I think we're going to bring on our next guest.
Great. Looking forward to it.
Great. Our next guest has been very involved with Maine Fiddle Camp online for the whole year, but mostly, majority of the time, behind the scenes. So very, very happy to have him here in front of the camera and listen to his fantastic fiddle playing. Here's Alden Robinson.
Hi.
How's it going? Good. It's good to see you, and I'm looking forward to hearing you.
Yeah, I hope I am too. We're going to find out.
Where are you joining us from?
I'm joining you from my office in my house, which is in Bodenham. So
nice. Well, I think we're running a little slow, and I don't want to lose any of your music, so I'm just going to get off the screen and let you go. Thanks for being here.
All righty. I'm going to play some tunes that I just sort of thought of to play for you. First of these is a set of two jigs by the great composer and accordion player Patty O'Brien, and they are seasonally appropriate. The first one is The Coming of Spring, and the second one is The Stormy Night. So that was the Coming of Spring and The Stormy Night, which are two things that are not mutually exclusive. And by Patty O'Brien. I really love those tunes. I've been playing those for, I don't know, about a year and a half or so. So my internal shuffle algorithm has kept those up at the top of my jig playlist. To use a computer analogy, which we are frequently forced to do these days. So anyway, in the interest of not talking more, I'm going to play, let's see, I think I'm going to play a set of reels. And these are a set that I popped into my head recently that I remember playing with Neil Pearlman himself not all that long ago. But it has been a while. These are a tune called Last Night's Fun and a reel by composed by Josephine Keegan called The Curlew, which is a very twisty tune, but I really love it, so I'm going to give it a whirl. And then another great D reel called John Brennan's. So that was last night's fun, and the Curlew, and John Brennan's, and so I'm gonna finish up here with a waltz, and I was very lucky the other night, 2 nights ago, to play my first actual gig outside of my house in many months, and it was very socially distant, but it was still better than not proximate at all. So I learned this tune from my buddy Junior, and this is a great tune, not related to him, Junior Stevens, but this is called Stevens Waltz. It's by Jack Talty, who's a great concertina player from Ireland. And I want to thank all of you who've been coming out to all of these virtual events, the bistros and virtual fiddle camp and virtual DEFFA, and it's been really an amazing experience for me to get to work on them. I've done a lot of like the website kind of back end stuff, but it's been such an amazing privilege to be on the team with all the people putting it on who are just so incredibly talented and energetic, and it all happened because you come out and go to them, and so I really appreciate that. So thank you, and this tune is for you, and we'll hope to see you down the road. a lot. Enjoy the rest of the bistro.
Thanks, Alden. That was beautiful.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Good
Thank
work.
Yeah, thank you. And same to you. See you soon.
Hey, Alden.
Yeah.
Thanks for all your great help with all the technology and everything. You and Neil, you guys, you deserve so much credit for helping to make this all happen. So
Well,
really
you
appreciate
deserve
your great work that way.
You deserve a lot of credit for taking the risk and writing the checks, man. That's that's what makes it all happen.
Yeah. Well, and then the donations may help to make that all happen. So
No, I appreciate it, Doug.
it's a wonderful big circle here
It's
that's
a
of
privilege.
support. So thanks so much.
All righty.
Yeah.
And you helped with this last virtual main fiddle camp we just came off of. It was fantastic, and the virtual ensembles are reaping the benefits now with the virtual ensembles that were created in the workshops that we offered. Any workshop that wanted to do their own virtual ensemble, and so Julia Plum came up with one already. It's done, and we're going to premiere it right now.
Whoa!
And it features the Canada geese and the ospreys under the brilliant tutelage of Julia Plum. So, what do you say, Neil? Let's roll that virtual ensemble.
Please allow me to introduce the Canada geese and the osprey with an old New England favorite lava string. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the Canada geese and the osprey. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
How sweet and cool is that? That's what makes Fiddle Camp special. It's multi-generational. So we're going to be premiering more virtual ensembles. But this last virtual camp, we really wanted to bring in the youth group. So we created special workshop groups for the youth, just like we do at regular main fiddle camp. And Julia really did a great job with that crew. So
yeah,
and of course Noah Fishman on the video editing. But hey, we got one more performer here before we then re-premiere the Downeast Country Dance Festival orchestra virtual ensemble, which we will end the show with. So stay tuned for that. If you missed it at the beginning, we're going to re-premiere it. And but meanwhile, we've got our final act here coming right up.
Okay, great. I'm just going to get to our final act in one moment, but I do want to remind you that when this is all over, there is a contra dance at 8 p.m. over in the DEFFA Zoom room. If you were at the DEFFA Festival today, it's just in the same place that you were all afternoon. But if you weren't, you can register at the DEFFA.org/festival website. But let's get on to our final guest of the evening, or guests. We've also seen them performing a while ago in the early stages of this, and I'm really happy to have them back. Really, really beautiful music from Elsie, Gawler, and Ethan Tischler. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Neil. So good to see you.
Nice to see you too. Glad to have you here.
We're so delighted to be back in this this little box of Main Fiddle Camp Maestro Bistro.
Yes. Well, where are you joining us from? Where are you set up?
We are currently set up in a wood shop in Camden, Maine, which we live in Lincolnville, so it's just down the road. And this is our go-to spot for good Wi-Fi and amazing acoustics. So we're at a wood shop today.
So I know you've been doing some various streaming concerts and stuff. I saw your great CD release online earlier, like several months ago at this point, but it was really beautiful. Can you talk a little about how both of your music has been developing this year?
Absolutely, yeah. I released an album in July, I think it was, and it's just been a delight to keep playing those songs and have that music out there. And this is Ethan Tischler, for those of you who don't know. And Ethan has a whole musical journey happening right now too.
Totally, yeah.
Awesome.
I think it was really inspiring to see the album come together and launch out into the world, even in spite of the pandemic, and just seeing how much that music has meant to so many folks got me all fired up to make an album too. So I was learning last fall a lot about home recording and studio engineering and what it means to make an album in the absence of a studio to go to. So yeah, I think live streams for us and a lot of practicing and outdoor music when we can, and sort of tending this next collection of songs to send out into the world, and building the skills to hopefully dig in on another album between the two of us later on this year.
Definitely.
That sounds great. Well, I can't wait for all of those new releases and to hear all of those songs. I hear what you mean. I've been learning quite a lot about how to do all the music technology at home this year too. It's quite a journey. But yeah, I guess I would like to stop hearing myself talk and listen to your beautiful songs. So thank you so much for being here, and everyone check out, stay in touch with both Elsie and Ethan's music for those new records, but check out the current one that's out at elsiegawler.com.
Thanks so much, Neil. Oh my gosh, such a treat to be here. I feel very lucky to be in the same place as this one, and it means that playing tunes at home is a lot of fun because we get to play together, which is a unique situation, and I'm very grateful for it. We both write a lot of music, write a lot of songs and tunes, and we have original song of ours we'll sing in the middle of our set, but we also have been playing a ton of Scandinavian tunes and polskas. Can't get enough of them. So we thought we'd play some of our favorites to kick it off.
Starting with a trio pulse from Jämtland that we actually learned from our dear friends and family members Edith, Gawler, and Bennett Knisny at a workshop that they led not too long ago.
And then we'll go into Roros Polska, which I know is a favorite among Fiddle Camp folks. And we'll finish out with a tune called Engelska, which is basically English tune in Swedish. Most polskas, or all polskas in general, are in 3/4 time. So with an emphasis on the 3/1, 3/1, 3/1. See if you can find the 3/1 in our tunes. And then the Engelska is English tune, and it's a reel. It's in 4/4 time.
Is that from Goodland Trio?
That is from Goodland Trio.
And if you haven't listened to Goodland Trio, you must find them. They are outstanding.
Yeah. And I usually teach and play cello at Main Fiddle Camp, but I'm not playing any cello tonight.
Do you have enough room?
Yeah. Okay, take 2.
3, 1, 2, 3.
some polskas and an engelska for you.
And we are so very excited to introduce a extraordinarily special and not necessarily planned before a little bit ago surprise guest!
Surprise special guest! Just so happened that my very own mother was in town. And give me 1 second. Ethan, continue talking.
Oh!
I remember the summer that Elsie went to Sweden with Village Harmony, and she decided to bring with her a miniature version of her cello, which is also AKA Fiddle. And she came home playing amazing Swedish fiddle. So that is still continuing on. I'm
It's
so
in your
glad.
bones.
Yeah.
Well, last year, Elsie and I had the great pleasure of working up a song that we came up with between the two of us, and we were joined by our good friend Duncan Yandel on the fiddle. And Duncan is in Vermont, but Ellen is here. So we're delighted to have some fiddle for this next number, and the song is called "You Come Too," and we launched it out into Spotify and Bandcamp and the rest, and it's sort of the placeholder for the album to come of songs that we've been writing for and between each other and working up for this last year and a half or so. Yeah. And yeah, we originally had talked about it as a sort of duo project, but as time has gone on, we've realized that it's actually just going to be a great opportunity to gather together all of our wonderful music-making folks that we're so blessed to have in our lives and be surrounded by. And tonight is just a case of that in action.
Mm-hmm.
So this is You Come To. Everybody cozy?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right.
Such a treat, such an unexpected treat to have her here today. Oh.
We play in the footsteps of giants.
We do. We have one more tune. Actually, I'll take that fiddle, Mom. I'll take it back. Thank you. One more tune for you this evening. It's a tune that there's a few tunes that have really, I feel like, been carrying my heart through this pandemic, and this is definitely one of them.
Totally.
Another one has been La Promeneuse, which we've been playing a ton. And this one also is just like a very tender, sweet tune. It's called Lovingens, and I love playing it. Yeah. And yeah, it's a treat, such a treat to be here and part of DEFFA and Maine Fiddle Camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can check us out on our Facebook page, Elsie and Ethan, and also there's a bunch of info on my website about the two of us, including links to our song, that song we just played that we released earlier. And yeah, we hope to stay connected and see you down the road.
Totally. Huge thanks, as always, to Neil and Doug and all the DEFFA folks and everybody who's tuning in from your various screens around the around the state and around the country and maybe world.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yep. So a little sweet tune to send you off with. This is Lovingens. Sing along too.
How's that for G for you? Cool. dum da da dum, yay da dum da dum, day da dum da da dum da da dum da da day dum, da 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 dum da da dum, day da dum da dum da day da day dum.
Thank you all so much. Treat to be here with you.
Thank you so much, Elsie and Ethan.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
good.
thank you guys. That was really beautiful. What a way to send us off here. Very sweet.
Thank you so much for having us here. It's been such
Yeah.
a treat.
And thanks to Ellen for the special surprise guest slot.
Yeah.
3 special surprise guests tonight. Unbelievable.
My
Hey.
pleasure.
It was great.
Surprised
Well, we'll
me
hope
too.
hope to see you all in person very soon.
We hope to see that.
Mhm.
See you too.
Sounds good.
All right. Good night.
Hey, so Neil, I guess we've run out of time. So, well, as we promised, we'll show everybody the re-premiere of the Downeast Country Dance Festival virtual ensemble, and then we
That's
look
right.
forward to their next Maestro Bistro, which will be April 10th instead of April 17th.
Yeah, usually it's the third Saturday of the month, but we're not doing that next month. It's the second Saturday, April 10th. So make a note of that in your calendars. We're a little bit pushing it up a little bit just because of scheduling things of other events. Fiddle Hell's happening that month.
Yeah,
as
we don't
well.
want to conflict with Fiddle Hell. They've got a
No.
great program, so we'll just do ours a week earlier.
Yeah, so
And
hope you join us
then
for
be
that.
able to enjoy ourselves at Fiddle Hell as well. So.
Yes, exactly. And remember, you can find all the information about all the bistros and everything else at mainfiddlecamp.org. You can register there for the workshops and everything that are happening around the concert. And you can donate to support all of Main Fiddle Camp's programming here. And if you want to continue the party after this show, just head over to the DEFFA website. If you haven't been part of DEFFA this afternoon, you can still join the party tonight and register on their website to get the link to go join the contra dance. If you already were part of it, just go back to the Zoom you were part of this afternoon and you'll find everything going on right there. But I think that's it. Yeah, we're gonna, for those of you who didn't get to see it or those who just want to see it again, we're gonna sign off here with the orchestra, DEFFA orchestra virtual orchestra video here. So, and then we'll take our leave. So thanks everyone for joining us. And,
Yes, indeed. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being part of Maestro Bistro. And on with the virtual ensemble.
New neighbor, bounce and swing.
One's in the middle, balance and swing.
Go down the hall for a line.
Turn along when you come right back. Face across, change.
Neighbor, bounce and swing.
One's in the middle, balance and swing.
Down the hall.
Turn along. Come back.
Face across. Drop, pull by and swing your partner one last time. Wait!